Still moving on, still moving on. This is for my day ones. This is for my day ones. Come on.
Boruto Chapter 4 of Two Blue Vortex. It starts off with Boruto is still there. He's still in Konoha, and he is essentially dipping out of Konoha and heading on over to wherever, what was it, to Code? So he's heading on over to Code, and he uses the Flying Raijin, which immediately makes it like, yo, Boruto, like, there's no comparison. I think there's no debate at this point of who had the bigger glow up between their part 1 and part 2, between Boruto and his father Naruto. We all love Naruto. Most people like Naruto more than Boruto, but it's very clear and unanimous that the glow up that Boruto has had in between parts 1 and 2 trumps what happened with Naruto from 1 to 2. Homie got the Flying Raijin. Not to mention that we just got, you know, into what the hell he got with his new Rasengan, the Uzuhiko, that freaking is like, what it basically keeps you like in an ever, like vertigo, like you're stuck in vertigo, permanent vertigo or some shit. Now he has the Flying Raijin, and he drops a line that right here makes me, and I absolutely have to see what people feel about this and how they feel about this, makes me think that we're either getting a Boruto movie, we're getting a very, very interesting arc, or the entire series is going to be, in a weird and strange way, similar to and connected to Storm Connections' type of deal. What I mean by that is, following him using the Flying Raijin, while he's talking to the Toad, Boruto says something along the lines of, he's not as good at using it as his grandpa. He's referring to Minato, you know, the Flying Raijin, you know, the yellow flash dude. How the hell would Boruto know how good his grandpa was at using it? Unless, A, he's referring to like, yo, somebody told him his grandfather was ill at it. Or B, he spent some time with his grandfather. Which really makes, wait, how is that possible? His grandfather, you know, is deceased. He passed away at the hands of Kurama. Came back via, what you would call it, Edo Tensei for the 4th grade Shinobi War. But Minato is soundly gone, you know? So how would he even know that his grandfather was a master at it? Again, he could be referring to just somebody told him about it. Could be Koji told him about it. We will talk about Koji down the road because this chapter was just so gas. This was just incredible. But how would he know what, you know what I'm saying? Now let's refer back to what is this manga called now? It's not just Boruto. It's not Boruto Naruto Next Generations. It's Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Boruto potentially has hot vortexes in time. Maybe he went in and we're going to either explore it in the manga or it'll be slightly referenced, which smart-wise, for me personally, the smart thing to do, the logical thing to do, what I would do if I was in charge of this IP, the marketing department, and I had the budget to put behind it or whatnot, reference it, get a little bit into detail, but not too much, and just make a movie out of it. Of Boruto going back in time, whether it be vortex hopping or there's some sort of, you know, I guess it would be technically a plot device, so to speak, to going back to Minato's time period. Now, if you played Storm Connections, it's the new Naruto Boruto game that is out right now. It just came out. They have something similar where Boruto is kind of going back in time. He's with like Tonetti. It's very, very interesting. Fire. I ain't gonna lie. I'm really enjoying it. There's some problems with the gameplay and whatnot. And on ranked, it's like nobody ever stopped playing Storm 4. That's a different ball game. But nevertheless, the story is Boruto reliving, or not reliving, I'm sorry. Boruto looking at Naruto's memories and like kind of traveling back in time, similar to the time travel arc of where Boruto and Sasuke went back in time. So that was a very big hit. I don't think people understand how much of a hit the time travel arc was for Boruto's anime. That opened their eyes up to, this is always a possibility now if Boruto really just doesn't take off, which unfortunately it hasn't. I've seen the graphs. I've showed you the graphs of Boruto's manga sales is like, let me see, can you see? It's like this, wham, with every volume that goes by. So, what worked for Boruto they look at? For starters, two of the most popular characters are Himawari and Kawaki. It's called Two Blue Vortex, so probably Himawari is going to be one of the pivotal characters. Likewise, I think Chapter 3, they made her the cover or whatnot. Was it Chapter 2 or 3? One or the other. They made her the cover or whatnot because she is very much so one of the most popular characters. Likewise with Kawaki. So they're, I don't want to say grasping at straws, but they're grabbing everything they possibly can to put it into perspective of what works to make Boruto pop off or make Boruto, you know, a little bit more accepted than it's ever been. And that time travel arc, again, it got many Naruto fans that hate Boruto, don't care about Boruto, invested. So there's a high probability that either an arc or the totality of this series is going to be comprised of, or a movie, time traveling to different parts. Now, some are probably going to call, if this is indeed the case, they're going to call that this is cheap. They're going to call it this is fan service. They're going to call that this is them grasping at trying to do anything to get the old Naruto fans involved. And that third part is definitely true. They are grasping, trying so hard. You know, they pulled some might say a Deus Ex Machina with the entirety of reality of the series just to get people to, you know, get invested or whatnot. But as far as it being cheap, you could throw a lot of things as cheap at the end of the day. There's a lot of many different stories that have some elements or whatnot. So that's debatable. And as far as like fan service or whatnot, dog, literally Boruto exists because it's serving the fans that love Naruto so much. That was one of the main reasons why Boruto was allowed to keep on going manga-wise. Anime, a little different story. They wanted a younger demographic, but there is no Boruto if it's not that the fans wanted more of the world of Naruto. Like, let's be honest, it's the same reason why there's a Dragon Ball Super, and they're even going as far as Dragon Ball Daima, which is backfiring on them. But nevertheless, yeah, these two properties, the Boruto Naruto IP and Dragon Ball Super IP, are meant as fan service because fans can't get enough of these two stories, these two worlds and whatnot. Hate to break it to you. So that would definitely be fan service. But I'm very strongly imagining that. I mean, there's one other possibility. Maybe there's some sort of clone of Minato out there. Like same way Koji is, you know, a clone of Jiraiya. That's a possibility. I'm hoping for the movie. I ain't gonna lie. I'm hoping we get some references. I'm hoping the anime comes back and boom, Boruto, the movie, and he time travels back to Minato, which that's kind of been done in Naruto. Remember, I think it was movie 4, The Lost Tower. Naruto traveled back in time and met Minato. This would be a little bit different because Boruto, you know what I'm saying, that's the grandfather, and it just really works very well. I don't know what it was about that time. Minus, if not Ishiki, what was homie's name? The Otsutsuki from... That was in Boruto, that he was like the one that was supposed to be in the movie. I can't even remember his name. Urashiki. If Urashiki didn't suck as much as he did, because Urashiki was ash. If Urashiki wasn't as bad as he was, I think people would have been like, yo, that time travel arc is the greatest. Oh my god, bowing to it. Because it was freaking enjoyable as hell. Seeing Boruto interact with Lil Naruto, Lil Sakura. So that's probably why they would be like, okay, that worked. And then likewise, they're tying things up. Let's not forget the fact that, remember, the Obito story came between Naruto part 1 and 2 in the manga, right? Minato story came between part 1 and 2 in the manga, right? Now we're getting mentions of Minato with the flying Raijin. Now we're getting mentions of Boruto saying something along the lines of he's not as good at using the flying Raijin as his grandfather. Minato might have a very pivotal part in the Boruto story, and this might be their way of bringing him in. And this is going to be crazy. And I'm so hyped for this because they know what they're doing. They're trying so hard to make Boruto click. And they're doing a lot of things that is just, this is hype. It's just a shame that, and we don't need to go down this path. We've talked about it on so many occasions. The anime just got people just like not digging it no matter what. You know what I'm saying? It's a shame because like this is crazy. This is hype. The same feeling that y'all got with like, I don't know, when Edo Tensei was involved, of characters that are gone in the past suddenly being relevant again. This is kind of another way of doing something like that. But again, we'll see because we don't know all the details. It could be that he heard about Minato. It could be that there's a Minato clone. It could be that he traveled back in time to Minato's time period. I'm hoping for that, and I'm hoping it's in a movie. If they do it in the manga, I'm fine with that too. It could be that the entire premise of this manga moving forward is Boruto traveling to different time periods, which... I don't know how I'd feel about that per se, but I'd be with it too. Because at some given point, they got to figure something to do other than just Boruto going back and forth to Konoha. You know what I'm saying? But this manga did a lot more than just that. So Boruto arrives to where Code is at. He goes to where the Ten Tails was, and the Ten Tails is gone. Ten Tails is no longer there, and Code is kind of just as shocked as him. And let's keep it real. Let's keep it so real. If Code doesn't have like a really big moment... Like, and I'm talking about a super ultra mega moment of redemption, then it's just embarrassing, bro. He doesn't even know where his Ten Tails is. This is just like, they got Code down horrendous at this point, fam. It's unbelievable of how bad this is that they show up and even Coda's like, where's Ten Tails and what's going on here? And then not to mention the comments that was made by the Harley Quinn looking chick, we'll get to in a second, of calling him a clown. That only gets used. It's like code that only gets used by other people, you know, like encoding something, like you just use code for your own benefit. Code doesn't get benefits. You get what I'm saying? Like encoding stuff. I don't know. But we see that Bug is still in the tree. You know, good old Bug. But there's another Bug right there. And apparently Boruto immediately knows what's up. There's a lot that happened off screen. That's one of the things that this chapter screams. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of things happened in between the time skip because it's a Bug version of, you know, or a Bug version. It's a Divine Tree version of Bug. Boruto explains. And he's like, yeah, well, he explains that to Code, and Code is just there bewildered or whatnot. And essentially it makes you think, well, wait a minute. How the hell would Boruto know that as well? Is he just really good at deducing stuff? Or this is something that they already experienced before? A lot of different things to make you think like, okay, something even further happened off screen. Obviously, we know some stuff happened off screen, of what the last page showed us with Sasuke. But nevertheless, there's a lot more here that we're not getting of, like, Boruto is just, he knows a lot. Hands down, his time skip benefited him immensely. And a lot of that's probably having to do with, like, just to slightly compare, not to, at the end of the day, we love Naruto. Let's not kid around. But Naruto, when he left Konoha, he left because there was a group of bad people that were going to come after him, and also he wanted to protect his friend. Those were the two main reasons for him to go. It's like, okay, I got to get stronger so I could stop the Akatsuki from trying to take Kurama from me, the Nine Tails, and I got to go rescue my friend. Boruto's time skip occurred because everyone that I know, love, and care about hates me and thinks I killed my father and are after me. A little bit more of an extreme scenario that is going to make you think, well, shit. This is a bad one. Yeah. It's going to push you to your limits and beyond. So, Boruto, I just got to, hold on. Can we all just agree that Boruto right now is goated? Like, Boruto right now is one of the most badass MCs in shonen manga, period. And I'm going to stand on that. Like, he's intelligent as hell. It's literally like taking what if Sasuke was the MC of Naruto type of stance, minus the I'm evil and I'm going to kill and revenge, but just the persona of what we've seen with Sasuke of, like, you know, that very, very smart, very intelligent, very strong, a prodigy, but dealing with a lot of issues. And that's what we got with Boruto, and I respect that. I respect that immensely. Yo, Draco8, super appreciate you. Thank you so much for subscribing with Prime. Can't stress enough. I appreciate it. Hey, Max, when I ended, homie. You come or you missed it, you dig? But, yeah, boom. Let's see here. Okay, Bug still in the tree. So, boom. Boruto recognizes that that's a Divine Tree version of Bug, and also we see Bug back there behind, you know, still stuck in the tree. So, again, you could argue that Boruto just deduced that this is a Divine Tree version, but it felt like Boruto be knowing a lot. Boruto's very intelligent. And then Divine Tree Bug, we'll just say Bug. You know what I'm talking about when I say Bug starts attacking, and it looks like Bug is putting in work, because Boruto has to use, at one given point, the Flying Raijin to get away from, like, it looked like he was attacking with some sort of dragon juice. It was just crazy, and I'm just there like, wow, Bug actually turned out to be something more than what we thought. And I love how, you know, the more you look at it, really, Boruto's whole entire manga is really just a big thing about technology. A lot of it. Maybe not all of it. A lot of it is, of course, you know, Boruto, the kid that had it all, lost it all, and now he's trying to rise back up again and whatnot. But a lot of it is technology. Think about it. Coding. A bug in the system. Ada. Like, there's a lot of things and whatnot just in general, which all goes back to even when Kara was initially starting and whatnot, when we started seeing them in the manga and whatnot, and Ao, and just kind of that whole thing of technology. Is it good? Is it bad? And whatnot. That never left the manga. It just got implemented in other ways of, again, stuff like that. The naming systems, naming schemes, and just in general, think about it. You only use code. There's nothing that code gets out of, you know what I'm saying, being used when you're encoding something. That's it. I still want a glow up for Code. But Bug is putting in work. And Boruto makes the mistake of rescinding the Uzuhiko off of Code. So Code no longer has vertigo. And I ain't gonna lie, like, I get it. Like, at the end of the day, he quickly realized, which kudos to Boruto for not being too cocky, you know what I'm saying? He quickly realized, okay, this is a problem. let me get rid of the Uzuhiko from homie over here so you can actually help me in this battle. So I respect him doing that. But he kind of just messed up right there because Code, he ain't going to stop with his vengeance. I mean, we see what he does later on in the chapter. So taking the Uzuhiko off of Code, he just helped your future enemy even more. So then we get the introduction to the other divine beings. We see that there's 4 of them. I couldn't really match all of them to who they're supposed to be. Obviously, the bug one is Bug. There's one that is clearly Sasuke. There's one that is like, is that Jigen? It kind of looks like Jigen. Not Jigen, I'm sorry. Ishiki, but it's not. I'm not sure. And then there's one that has like that Harley Quinn hair that I'm kind of like, who the hell is that supposed to be? I'm not sure who that is, but she looks like, she reminds me of like classic Harley Quinn and whatnot. So there's essentially 4 new villains. They're all divine trees. I got to imagine that these are all people that are stuck in trees. Somebody said that that's Moegi. Was that Moegi? Oh my god, that makes so much sense. That's weird. Moegi is one of the big villains of Boruto. Oh god. Now that you just told me that, you just kind of blew my mind. Moegi is, if that's really Moegi, oh god. Ishiki, that's fire that he's back in a weird way. But this whole divine tree thing was very fascinating because up until this point, ever since Boruto, Naruto, no, scratch that, ever since Kaguya and the Zetsu and whatnot, it's been a very established thing that the Otsutsuki motives is that they're intergalactic travelers that suck all the resources dry of a planet. They suck the planet dry, they take it all, and then they keep on moving. That was essentially a part of their programming, so to speak. Because again, it's starting to look more and more like the Otsutsuki are some very much so highly programmed, advanced civilization of aliens or some shit like that. It's just very, very interesting. But that has been their goal. The one that looks like Ishiki Otsutsuki proclaims like, yo, that's been our objective all along. However, that's no longer the case. At the very least, at the moment. I don't know if it's just that they're distracted at the moment, things are changing at the moment, or that'll still be their end goal, but right now they're doing some other stuff. Like, they're still going to do that, but yeah. Because he says, yeah, that's been a part of their existence, but they've evolved thanks to Boruto awakening their self-awareness, which even further pushes, like, so something has happened off screen. Because Boruto appearing here has allowed their self-awareness to awaken. I feel like there's a piece of the story that is desperately needs to be explained. Of like, what are you talking about? But also, even more so, why would self-awareness unlock them evolving to the point of not wanting to just do the tree stuff? Like, is it that now they kind of want to live like other creatures in the universe before they were just bland programs? It almost sounds like, think about it right now, this could be very well inspired. Oh my god, now that I think of it, of like, think of AI, the evolving of AI. AI initially was just very bland, very basic or whatnot. And now, not that I don't think our AI has self-awareness. Who knows, right? Maybe it does. You never know. But AI essentially is able to take commands and do commands. And you could put it autonomous where AI can do tasks for you nonstop without you having to press a button. So I'm wondering if that's the inspiration behind allowing making the Otsutsuki evolve past, oh, we're just here to take all your planet's resources. And now, because they have this self-awareness, there's more to it of what they're trying to accomplish. But then that makes me question, okay, then what is it? Like, is it just that y'all want to replicate how humans and ninja live? Is like, do y'all want to blow up the planet? What do you want then? I mean, technically, you pretty much like blowing up the planet when you take all the resources. What do you want then if it's not to be, again, sucking all the resources out of a planet and moving forward? That is a very, very big question and something that kind of changed the entire narrative, because this chapter was yet again, like, it feels like every chapter almost of Two Blue Vortex, or at the very least every chapter of Boruto for the last, I want to say 7-8 chapters of Boruto has been game changer after game changer. Maybe one chapter since the time skip was a little bit more of setup, but almost every chapter of Boruto from the last few before we went into the time skip till now has just been giant game changers of, oh my god, I can't believe this happened. Oh my god, I can't believe this happened. Because literally we have a whole new set of villains now with whole new motives, and once again, Code has been reduced to a clown. Yo, when the Harley Quinn looking shorty, apparently Moegi, when Moegi, Otsutsuki, should I call her Moegi Otsutsuki? Oh my god, Moegi Otsutsuki. Either way, when Shorty called him a clown and said, once again being used and tossed aside, it makes me think that there's just so much story that needs to be told. So expect at some given point, I don't know if it'll be next chapter, probably it should be next chapter, but expect within the next few chapters that there's going to be a massive flashback chapter that gives us a whole bunch of content of what happened beforehand. Also, this is setting up that I hate to break it to a lot of people, but everything that I've seen with the Boruto manga up until this point and the Naruto and Boruto IPs is telling me that the Boruto anime is going to return the same way it left. And I hope that's not the case, but it feels like the Boruto anime is going to return, and opposed to going back to just those terrible fillers of Team 15 taking a dump and rescuing cats, it's going to more so expand on the plot of important and relevant things. And if that's the case, that's not necessarily bad. That's a big improvement. Like Boruto returning to being weekly, but not focusing in on garbage and actually trying to tell good stories that are based in the canon, that would be fine. Because let's just say we dive into this flash. Obviously we are going to. We got to find out what happened. How did Boruto awaken these divine trees to have like essentially like self awareness or whatnot. We got to see that. We got to see what happened of how Sasuke came to be at the end of that chapter. We got to see about Code. There's a lot of things that they're definitely going to explore in the manga, no question, but it's going to leave so much in the time skip of good story and stories that can be expounded upon that the anime can do. So again, I hate to break it to you, but as much as we want Boruto to return seasonally, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening at all. And it would be dope, but maybe I'll be wrong. Who knows? Who knows? But there's just so much story that they're leaving out that they're going to eventually address later, but that can still be expounded upon. And I'm not necessarily mad about it returning weekly per se, because again, if it's going to explore like Boruto and Sasuke going on some really real missions, not bullshit filler missions, like real stuff that is connected to all this, we're going to see more of an expansion. Like they could do the same way they had, just make it good, but the same way they had Urashiki, that was that, filler Otsutsuki that was supposed to be in the original content or whatnot, they could make one of these like a fifth divine tree user that they had to fight throughout the time skip that was way, or maybe not way stronger than these, because you still got to technically make the canon to blah, 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 but at least if there was a fifth one that they constantly had to fight against or whatnot, that would actually be fire. That would be something, okay. Again, make him good though. Make him competent or whatnot. But there's a lot of story that could be told. So again, I hate to say it to you, but don't be surprised if Boruto anime returns weekly, not seasonal. But maybe they focus in on all of these stories of Boruto and Sasuke, and maybe some interesting story. Oh god, I don't feel like they'll do interesting stories on Himawari, because again, two of the most popular characters are Kawaki and Himawari. So maybe there'll be episodes that focus in on Boruto and Sasuke, and then there'll be probably episodes that they focus in on Kawaki and Himawari during the time skip. And those fillers were bad. I'ma be real. But I gotta be real and say that might be the case of going to a weekly Boruto anime release opposed to, yeah. But we'll see. Let's see. Okay, we touched up on Boruto awakening their self-awareness, which really makes me again like, how do you do that? What happened? It must have been that when Sasuke was attacked by Code, all of that transpired. But it still even makes me question even further. How the hell, if Code has been with them the entire time, he's been with the Ten Tails or whatnot, how the hell would Boruto have been the one that awakened their self-awareness unless he did it right now? Like, they just became self-aware right now, or because of whatever Boruto just did in Konoha. That needs to be explained, because it's a little messy right now. How the hell did he do that? And Code, because remember, Code was surprised when there was 2 bugs. So he didn't even know about this divine treat stuff, unless Boruto, before these 4 popped up, there was one that was running around that Boruto and Sasuke faced that Code didn't even know about. So there's that possibility. Moegi Otsutsuki calling Code a clown. It is what it is. Kawaki still, oh yeah, then there was like 4 or 5 pages of Kawaki still with the same old, Kawaki is upset, bro, like, whoa. When he's talking to Shikamaru, and he's like, nah, dog, Boruto, like, he don't even want to see any good. And I feel for homie, because I think a big part of it is that he knows that if he gets too emotional about it and he just lets go of it, because he really does love Boruto, it's all gonna be, you know what I'm saying? It's all gonna go to a way where he's scared of Boruto eventually becoming Momoshiki, etc., etc. But Kawaki does, like, there's no question about it. He loves Boruto. That's really his brother. But he feels like he has to do what he has to do at right now, at the very least, at this time, in order to save the village and save Naruto, yada yada, whatnot. But I ain't gonna lie, those 4 or 5 pages when he was talking with Shikamaru in the Hokage office or whatnot, I just wanted to tell him, yo, shut up. Just shut up, bro. What are you talking about? Like, he want to think the worst of Boruto. He doesn't want to think the best of whatnot. It's like, no, what are you doing? What are you talking about? He just wants to think the worst. It's like, come on, fam. And I loved it when Sarada came in there and stood up and said, yo, how about we collab with homie? He clearly was not working with Code, so he clearly came because Code was here to stop him. What are y'all doing? Shout outs to Sarada for standing on hers. I can only imagine. See, those are, again, fillers that I wouldn't be mad at either. Like, seeing Sarada's progression. Even Sarada's been mad cool, bro. She is what Sakura should have been, bro. Like, bottom line, bar none. So, you know, Sarada standing on hers. And again, I can only imagine what she went through in the time skip. I thought that was dope, her standing up and saying, yo, are y'all not seeing what really happened? Also, it was funny when Shikamaru almost lost it for a second when they were both talking about what Sarada was like, I'm going to be Hokage and I ain't going to let you have your way. And he was like, yo, y'all both better shut the hell up before the current Hokage gets mad. I'm like, all right, Shikamaru. Yeah, you let your nuts hang on this shit, boy. Pause on that. But you do your thing, dog. Don't let them just be doing whatever. You are the Hokage now. And I think Shikamaru really has to internalize that. And it seems as though, at the very least with that instant, he was like, yo, I'm the Hokage. Let's get that straight. And I like that. Like, stand on yours. Again, like what, you know, I was just saying about Sarada. Let's see here. I will say that Boruto is definitely very desperate to save Sasuke. No questions. We know he loves him so much. He looks up to him so much. He worships him so much. And he's desperate to save him. So much so that right there is a weakness of his. I caught it while I was reading the chapter. And bar none, Boruto's desperation to save his sensei is a major weakness and a major, you know, chink in the armor, so to speak. Because the Toad warned him multiple times. Bro, let's go. Like, yo, they're gonna kill you. Let's get out of here. He told him like 2 or 3 times before Boruto finally used the flying Raijin to dip. And that, I gotta imagine, is just mainly like he thought, yo, if I could just finish this shit right here, right now, I could rescue my sensei. If I just do this right now, my sensei will be relieved from what he's going through. So it's sad, but his love and his admiration for Sasuke and wanting to save Sasuke so much is definitely something that is a weakness that he has at the moment. And until Sasuke is free, Boruto, you can see that he's going to make desperate attempts, like, you know, and I can't blame him. Like, if I'm in that situation, okay, so y'all, if I deal with y'all right here, the person that I worship and care about so much is free, I'm good. So let me just deal with y'all. So I get it, but sometimes you gotta listen to the Toad, fam. You know what I'm saying? You gotta listen to him. But I caught that Boruto does have a very strong weakness, and that's Sasuke, bar none. And you can throw it's the people he cares about, because if Himawari was in danger, that'd be another weakness. He loves his sister. In between all of that, let's see here. Boruto. Okay, so Boruto actually faces off against the Divine Tree Sasuke or whatnot. There was like a Chidori versus Rasengan. I thought that was kind of cool and interesting. I got to imagine that Boruto probably feels a certain way, although I love that. Even with that, right? No, I want to take that one back. I got to imagine nothing right now. The fact that Boruto wasn't really fazed by that looks like his sensei, I like that. I like that Boruto ain't easy to manipulate his emotional balance or whatnot. It's like, oh, yo, that looks like Sasuke. I don't care. Rasengan, bro. You're not Sasuke. You're not him. You ain't the one. Not you. So I appreciate the fact that Boruto actually very clearly can stand on his. I've been saying that a little too much throughout the stream, but he clearly isn't being persuaded or tricked easily or manipulated. Like, he's actually able to hold his own. That's fire. That's dope. Like, it would have been a very easy cliched story point of, oh no, not Sasuke, I can't possibly. Homie just went in. Like, Rasengan, I hate you, move. I want my sensei back. That's it. I love that. I love it. But, so, you know, he does that, and Code betrays again and dips, and this is exactly why Code is in the stance that he's in. Like, Code has betrayed. I ain't gonna lie. Code... I know, I got a feeling. There's no way that they're keeping this character around and him getting clowned and bamboozled at every turn from Ada, Damon whipping him up despite him releasing his limiters, these divine trees that just got self-awareness are crapping on him. It all has to have a reason, bro. It has to have a reason. It has to be that he's going to have one of the craziest glow-ups of all time. This is still on par, on track to going with kind of the same model of, whatchamacallit? Oh, I lost my train of thought. Of Shigaraki from My Hero Academia. It gotta be, because at one point, let's not get around here, Tomoda Shigaraki was one of the, oh my god, he was one of my favorite villains. I was like, yo, this is what I've been waiting for. Back when he was standing on top of Endeavor, putting his arm up in the air and shit like that, shitting on the establishment and all that. Code can get there, but as it stands, it's like, man, you know, I guess it's really the balance. And it will be, I ain't gonna lie, I will actually, at this point, I'm gonna even put this in there. I'm gonna be disappointed if Code doesn't have the illest glow up ever of really just taking charge and being like super bossed up, because it has to balance out. There's no way possible you have that. Initially they try to make it like he was, you know, the final one from Kara. He's gonna resurrect everything and do everything when Ishiki came to him in that final vision or whatnot. Like, you built him up that way, then you kind of put him to the side, then you gave him his own little group, Ada, Damon, then you took them away and gave him the Kawaki, then you have him with the Ten Tails and he got a Ten Tails army, then you take away the Ten Tails and have them shit on him as well. That's bad, okay? So with all that being said, all of that has to amount to, yo, he's going to go savage, he's gonna be a decisive factor in a lot of plays down the road. Because, come on, dog. If not, it's just like put a red nose on him and have him... Every time Code enters a scene in Boruto 2 Blue Vortex, he just comes on a little clown bike. Like, come on, bro. Imagine Kawaki, Code turns good and Kawaki goes evil. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, Kawaki is one step away from being evil, the way he's been doing. But then Boruto, as he's dipping, the one that looks like Ishiki says, you can run all you want, but you can't escape your destiny, which I'm curious if they're referring to like the Tonetti situation. Although, no, like his destiny was that he was going to lose everything. He lost everything. You know what I'm saying? So I'm curious what they mean by that, unless they're just referring to like you're going to be fed to the divine tree, but that's not even a part of their objective anymore. So there's a lot that needs to be explained, how Boruto knows about these self-awakened divine trees and Code doesn't. There's so much that needs to be processed. And again, I'm guessing that they faced some shit, Boruto and Sasuke, without Code being around, and that's what led them to knowing about all this stuff. But then another bombshell drops. Like, the easily, if this was a weekly manga, like, this chapter easily would have been, like, some of the best chapters weekly possible. Because then, after that, all of that, new villains, everything, man, it's just crazy. Then we pop up and Kashin Koji's like, yo, what are you doing, bro? You trying to destroy the planet? Which, I don't remember really, like, aside from the 4th grade Shinobi War, it was rare that we would talk in Naruto about planetary destruction. So the fact that we're talking that is crazy of how Dragon Ball Z-esque this manga is going. This manga is heading to Dragon Ball Z levels of, we're talking about planetary stuff in chapter 4. Where are we going by chapter 50? You know what I'm saying? This is bananas, crazy. But Kashin Koji being there, and he doesn't look destroyed, so potentially somebody was able to put him back together. Who would be the candidate to do it? Who would Sasuke go? Let's just say, if it was Boruto and Sasuke that ran into Kashin Koji, who would Sasuke tell him to go that he knows? The only person Sasuke knows that could fix up Kashin Koji. I'll answer. Orochimaru. And I did it with the little tongue, bro. You know what I'm saying? The little Orochi. You know? Just trying to get you to laugh, folks. Maybe Orochimaru fixed up Kashin Koji. Granted, they only showed half, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't look like he's completely decimated or whatnot. Probably either Sasuke introduced him to Orochimaru, or Sasuke at some point during the time skip brought Boruto with him to Orochimaru. And then Boruto remember, oh yeah, that creep motherfucker over there. Let's go. He could fix you after he ran into Koji, or Koji immediately went to Orochimaru, because let's also remember one big factor. Hello, the legendary Sannin, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. He would immediately, if he's a clone of Jiraiya, he would immediately go back and find Orochimaru and say, yo, please, help me, dog, help me. And because Orochimaru is now seemingly possibly more of a good guy. I mean, he created his clone to go help balance the world, be the moon to the sun or whatnot. So he would probably help him out. I think somewhere deep in the crevices of Orochimaru's sick, twisted mind, I think he probably did feel something for Jiraiya passing away. No question. He's just so far gone of trying to, achieve immortality that I was like, But let's see here. It changes nothing. Koji is standing on business too. If I could just put the name of the stream, I would change it to standing on business. Because Koji's like, yo, all of that, first of all, you almost try to get this planet destroyed. What are you doing? But it doesn't change nothing. We still must fight. And I'm like, damn, bro, like the last of the Mohicans is these two. And then you're thinking, yo, but where's Sasuke, dog? What happened to Sasuke? And then Boruto says, sorry, you'll have to wait a little longer, Sasuke. And we see Sasuke. He is one of the people in the tree. And I don't know if they were thinking that people weren't going to catch on to that was Sasuke that was facing against Boruto. But it was very clear. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh my God! But yeah, I ain't gonna lie, it's sad. Because Boruto loves that guy so much, and to see that he doesn't have him, and this is why he's so desperate, and this is why he's doing what he's doing, popping up in Konoha despite everybody after him. He don't care. My master is in trouble. It's time for me to help my master the same way he helped me 3 years ago. And he's with Kashin Koji. So it's pretty much Boruto, Kashin Koji, Sarada from afar, and potentially Himawari are the only people that we could really trust right now. Obviously Sasuke, but hello, he's in a tree and there's a divine tree version of him. And I love how they just expanded on the lore of the Otsutsuki that I don't want to say desperately needed it, but it really is useful because it just blew open so many different doors. And again, of the four, we got Bug, Sasuke, Ishiki, and potentially Moegi. I got to confirm on the Moegi one, but I ain't even gonna lie. This chapter of Boruto, chapter, 4? Chapter 4 of Two Blue Vortex. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10, 12 out of 10, a 13 out of 10, maybe a 14 out of 10, 15 out of 10. How about 16 billion out of 10? I love this chapter, bro. I don't care. They could slander this manga day in and day out. This is one of my favorites. I love this shit every month. That's why that would be the only reason I return for one more stream this year is just to talk about chapter 5 because I'm so enamored. And right now, oh my God, Sasuke's in a tree. No, Sensei. But it's been, I ain't gonna lie, this was a phenomenal chapter. And yeah, so many questions, so many references. This was like, out of all the chapters, this might be the most important. And that's that all of the other chapters, or most of them, I think chapter 2 is a little slowish. But most of these chapters have been very important. Because Flying Raijin, references of his grandfather's skill as if he met his grandfather. Kashin Koji, Sasuke in a tree, the new villains, the 4 divine trees, the Otsutsuki changing their goals from being, these galactic travelers and shit like that are just sucking off the resources, to whatever it is because they have self-awareness now. There's so much things. The fact that it all intertwines with kind of technology, which is the whole basis of Boruto from the very beginning. There's just so much richness to this. I love this chapter so much, and they could keep on hating. I don't care about being a part of the cool crowd of like, yeah, man, fuck Boruto. Nah, dog. Boruto manga is straight gas. You're just a sheep and you're just blinded by the anime. Fuck the Boruto anime if it comes to that or the manga. When it comes to the Boruto manga or the anime, I'm going to say forget the anime and I'm going with the manga. And excuse my language because I'm really trying to cut down on cussing. I don't like cussing no more. It just is what it is. But yeah, phenomenal chapter. I'm flabbergasted.
Thought it would have been, wish it would have been. Acting like I'm fine is getting harder to pretend. I said, thought you would have been, wish you would have been. Maybe I was wrong, it was me all along.